here we are, episode 58 of the Georgie and Patty Show. I am Georgie.
Oh, and I'm Patty.
And we are I am very excited, I think you're excited too, to talk about a super fun topic and useful topic, personality types, and how we can use them to strengthen our personal brand and communicate better with our clients, future clients, potential clients, clients who are on their way. Come to us. So I love these kinds of things. Like, I love the personality type, the quizzes and all those kinds of things. And sometimes it's so amazing how accurate they can be. So I am super looking forward to this. Yeah. Now you get the control.
Oh, yes, I will share the new and improved beautiful slide deck.
Mm-hmm.
All right, look at that. Just such a work of art.
Such a work of art. It's like my painting this morning. Not really. I was trying to emulate that, but it's not there yet. But I'm working on it. So, yeah. So our quote of the day is, I thought this was fitting: always be yourself, express yourself, have faith in yourself. Do not go out and look for a successful personality and duplicate it. Just be you. By Bruce Lee.
Such a appropriate kind of a quote for a U-shaped business.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Absolutely excellent. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. About this idea of figuring out you and your personality, who you are. Your permission slip for the day to use your personality to create a personal brand that fits. Oh my, the B word. This is what we're talking about today. If you've listened to me at all in the past, you'll know that this is not one of my favorite words, not one of my favorite topics, even though it's important. But brand is kind of what we're talking about today. And brand is often, there's a couple of connections to brand that are not helpful. So a lot of times when we talk about developing a brand, people immediately go to logos and color schemes and visual identity kinds of objects, which is part of your brand, but it's not, it's kind of an end byproduct. It's not the reality of what a brand is. Probably the most accurate definition of brand, the one that I kind of connect to, even though I don't particularly like the individual who said it, is that your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. Which is, you know, it's kind of what you're known for. It's your reputation. It's who you are. And a really, really, really good test of the efficacy of your marketing is when you hear other people talk about you and what you do, that they get it right. Or you nod and you go, yeah, that's exactly what I do. So it's just kind of like other people's shorthand for what you do. So that's one of the connections with brand, is this idea of it's all about visuals, because it's not. It's that more holistic view of it. The other thing that I don't particularly like about brand and brand advice is that it originates in large businesses, and it has an element of making it up. We are going to make up a brand for our business, which you need to do when you're in a big business, because you've got a whole bunch of employees and everyone has to kind of get on the same page, and the company has to have some cohesion in what it stands for and what it does and who they are and the type of company. And branding exercises to make that stuff up is super important when you're a big business with multiple people. And it's, in my opinion, going down the wrong track when you're an individual. Because when you are an individual, a U-shaped business, you are the brand. It's you. This is one of the things that's difficult, challenging about being a U-shaped business is that this is a vulnerable kind of feeling, you know, to be the brand, to have your human person connected with what you do. It's your biggest advantage. It's what makes you fully unique, and it can also be just a little vulnerable and feel a little bit exposed, and it can be more challenging to put yourself out there when you're not kind of hiding behind an official brand. I remember this early on in my video store days. I had a real hard time making phone calls to tell people that their videos were late if I had to identify myself as Patty. But as soon as I figured out that if I told them, hey, this is the video place calling, and I was calling from a building, those calls were easy because it wasn't me saying the videos were late, it was the company. Now, when you are the brand, you don't have that kind of uh, uh, layer of protection. All of a sudden, yeah, it's me. It's Patty's video store calling about the videos. So anyhow, you are your brand, which in some ways makes the branding thing way easier. Because you're it. And a lot of times, or at least every once in a while, I'll run into somebody who's done kind of a make up a brand kind of exercise for themselves, and they're struggling to live up to this made up image that they've created based on maybe what people want to buy or something like that. And they're trying to project something that isn't them. And I think that this is the biggest problem I see with kind of these cookie cutter white label programs. It's like, you can be just like me, take all my programs, take all my messaging, take all my words, and I'm like, pretend to be a completely different human being. Let's see how that works out for you. So you are your brand, and when you accept that, then that's awesome. It makes it easier. And personality, looking at your personality and your personality traits, doing those super fun personality tests that Georgie talked about, can really help you identify elements that are already naturally you, so that they're not hard to do. And it's more about amplifying and refining the things that are already part of you and who you are. So there are a whole bunch of different things that you can do in order to kind of delve into your personality. You can do, my favorite is Myers-Briggs 16personalities.com, I think is the site that has a free test. I found that super helpful, to kind of isolate pieces of who I am and how I behave. And like Georgie says, it's sometimes kind of creepy with how accurate they are. And I will never, ever forget the day in 1998 when I was faced with my report from Myers-Briggs, and I was just like, yeah, this is me. I'd never seen a better description of me. And then I'm reading through it, and I'm realizing, and this was like the huge relief for me, and for those of us who are on the island of misfit toys, you'll understand this, is that because my personality type is fairly rare, because they had all the percentages of how people test out, because mine is rare, my personality is different from most other people's personalities, and I'd always known that I didn't quite fit in. But when I read the results and I looked at this description, I'm like, if they took all the trouble to write out a description for this personality type, I'm not the only one. Like, there are other people like me out there, because otherwise, this was a lot of effort to go into to write this one particular report. I would strongly encourage everyone to go in and do that test. Find out what you are according to the test, and see, kind of pull out the pieces that are useful to you. And it might not be 100% fit, but go with what works. And the most useful thing I found about it was taking a look at what the other people in my life were. So I would look at, like, for example, my husband at the time had his score was completely opposite to mine on every one of the 4 dimensions that it measured on. He had the opposite. And knowing that explained so much, and it made it easier for us to get along, because I could look and see that in his personality type, he needed structure and order and he needed to know what was going to happen ahead of time, and that was important to him. My partner now, it's important to Joe as well, and it's not me. I'm more loose, open-ended, see lots of options, and Joe likes to know what's happening. He doesn't like it when the schedule is changed, and knowing that makes it easier for me to relate to them. So it's not just that knowing your personality helps you with your brand and with your marketing. It also helps you with communication. And especially when you get to this place where you've worked with a number of clients, you'll start to see some patterns. And you may notice that you typically work with clients that have a certain personality, and there's some overlap between who you are and who they are, and some differences. And knowing what those differences are can be super helpful. So helps with the communication, knowing, recognizing, accepting that people are different and need different things, and that can help in a lot of ways. So putting that aside, what I want to focus on today, as much as I love Myers-Briggs and those kinds of personality tests, because it's so helpful for our own behavior and how we work with other people, I want to draw some attention to this, if you've seen it or not. This is howtofascinate.com. This is Sally Hogshead's work. This is her book. I bought her book years ago. In the book is a code to take your fascination score online, which is really kind of awesome. And I want to highlight a couple of things in this presentation today about this particular personality testing thing here. Is, first of all, the information itself, because it's awesome, because this is actually geared towards branding and towards who you are and how you show up in business. So it's like immediately relevant. And secondly, just from kind of the meta level, what Sally has done in her work, that she would be what I would describe a U-shaped business. She does. Branding and copywriting is where she started from, branding and copywriting and marketing. And she has developed a unique system based on that and incorporating personality style stuff. So she's created unique work to set her apart from other people. This is kind of her life's work kind of thing. And I watched an interview with her a few months back, and it was just really fascinating to see how she had done this and how she had kind of gone all in on it. She had, I think it was the last recession or whatever, kind of rocked her business, and she decided to go all in with this idea of the brand personality. She did all the research around it to put this system together because she had this idea, and she just went all in with it, and she's made a name for herself. She's created this fabulous business based on her ideas and her research and her perspective, and I think that is inspiring as well. So just kind of hold that in your head as we go through this as well. This is an example of somebody putting their work out into the world in a very unique way. So this is a system that she has developed for branding. And it's based on 7 different personality types, and I'm going to go through them. 7 different, what she calls advantages, descriptions of, who you are and how you show up. And her blog post that she wrote recently had these really succinct descriptions of each one. So as I go through, you'll be able to kind of try them on. And I would encourage you, as we go through this, to think about yourself and which ones kind of fit and which ones don't. Because what you want to do is come up with your number 1, like out of the 7, the one that's the most like you. And then the second one, your secondary one, which is the second most like you. And then when you find the intersection on the matrix, you find out who you are. So I'll revisit this again after I go through the individual pieces. I'm a secret weapon. Georgie's a catalyst. but you get this cool Coolio name that goes with it. So we'll go through it, and if you write down which ones you feel are you, then when I show this diagram again, you'll be able to find the intersection. And if it's not clear from this, then you can go buy the book, get the code, do the test, and of course you'll get more insights if you do that as well. But this can really help you define what your own personal brand could look like, not based on changing yourself, but seeing what you already have and turning the volume up in it. So the first one of these traits is innovation, and this is about creativity. So when you have this, and the blog post was all about, here's what you can share with people in a team for working together better, communicating better, that when you do this test that you can share, if you are an innovation type of personality, you can share this with the people you work with, so that they get some insight to you and how to work better. So if you're innovation kind of person, Georgie and I both identify with this one, is that we're annoyed by structured formulas, develop cool new ideas really quickly, and get distracted easily. Oh look, squirrel. So quite a few of the people we work with tend to relate to this one as well. Innovation is one of them. Passion, connect with emotion. 3 things to know about me. Love to build relationships, can get frustrated by details. People are attracted to your enthusiasm. Oh, hello, exclamation points, and emojis. Somebody on this call can relate to this one. It would not be the introvert in the corner. Power. I lead with confidence. 3 things about people who have this power trait: want results and know how to get them. Push yourself to achieve goals. People immediately see you as a leader. So if power it feels like it fits for you, that could be one of your traits. Prestige. I set the standard, set very high goals, motivated by competition. You like to win. A little bit different from power, more about standards. So that is the prestige. Trust. Trust is about loyalty. Consistent. Prefer tried and true to risky new tactics. Create order amongst the chaos. Mystique. I communicate carefully. Dislike selling yourself. Prefer to listen and think before speaking. Uncomfortable with pushy techniques. Does any of that sound familiar? This is the other one that I identify with. Alert. I protect the details. Organized. Never lose track of deadlines. Keep others on track by staying focused on the details. You think about project managers. You think they have this ability. And I'm going to say this now, maybe I should have said this earlier, is that whatever personality you are, whatever personality traits you have, whichever one of these advantages that you connect with the most, it's not that one is better than the other. Although we often get those messages from the world at large, some personality traits are more common. Some are more kind of revered in general. But in terms of a U-shaped business at the size that we're talking about, every single one of these is awesome. It's not that some are better than others. It's just whatever yours is, embrace and work with it, because they're all awesome and they're all unique and they all create a piece of fascination in terms of what Sally Hogshead is saying. So if you look at this big grid, you can take your primary advantage down the left-hand side and your secondary along the top, and then you can find the intersection between the two of them. So when I look at mine, I see it as the introvert communicate carefully, all about words, meets innovation, finds the secret weapon. And when you look at at Georgie's passion and connection and all, creating a world where people matter meets innovation, um, you get the catalyst. So you can find the intersection between the two of these to get a sense of who you are. So if you look at Sally's website, and if you like, she's got tons of information on there. You can get the book, and it gives you more information about this. But it can give you some ideas for what you're going to put forward and where you're naturally kind of fit in. Now, for me, I know when I read this, it just had this like secret weapon. Are you kidding me? Like, that is, I don't want to be that. Why can't I be like the people's champion or the catalyst? I really wanted to be the catalyst. I totally wanted to be the catalyst, but it's like, it's not me. And if I were to try to be a catalyst, it would feel uncomfortable. It would mean that I would have to like have way more conversations and be way more outgoing and talk to people and open relationships. And it's not a good fit for me. And trying to do that, as much as the out of the box thinking fits, that isn't me. And a lot of times we get these kind of messages that, oh, you have to be outgoing, you have to be social, and you have to be this, and you have to be that. And every single one of these advantages, you will find somebody saying that you absolutely have to develop trust. You absolutely have to be consistent. You absolutely have to have the highest standard and the most beautiful design and sweat all of the details. You absolutely have to project power and confidence. Like, my advice would be to really embrace the things that feel like a good fit for you and just do more of that rather than trying to be something that you're not. Because all of these can be very, very appealing to the right people. It's all about fit and attractiveness, and every single one of these is exactly what their clients are looking for. So wherever you show up in one of these little boxes in this chart, your future clients want that. So turn up the volume on it and show them. So, and this was the kind of my suggestion here, is to embrace your personality type and who you are. It's different. Each one is different, not better. And this was really drilled into us during the Myers-Briggs session thing that I was involved in. We did the whole thing, the take the test, the have discussion around it and all that. And it was, constantly repeated that this is about differences. It's not about this is better than that, even though we tend to get those messages. There's strength in every single one of your personality traits, and use them for that. And being different, this is one of the things that Sally says in her work, is that being different is better than being better. I thought that was wonderful, because only one only one can be like the absolute best, but you can be different, and different is better than better. So play to your strengths. Figure out those things that are, because what you'll find is when you know what those things are, you naturally kind of play to it. That part is easier. You're not trying to be something that you're not. If you're outgoing, talk to people, effervescent kind of an extrovert person, going out to networking events, meeting people, having conversations is going to feel really easy and really fun and really energizing for you. That's awesome. If you're a more reserved kind of an introvert person, then maybe sitting at your computer and thinking through what you're going to say and writing something is going to be a better fit for you. It's just like the marketing that's effective is the marketing that you'll actually do. So you can play to your strengths, and you don't have to be something that you're not. And it's just overall, it's easier to be you. And this is the essence of a U-shaped business. It becomes easier. And a lot of times I notice for myself that when I find things that are really challenging, really difficult, things that hard, thinks that I'm resisting, it's because I'm trying to do something that doesn't map up with my strengths or with my personality. If I have to fiddle with a lot of details, it's not a happy place for Patty to be. Detailed instructions, like writing out detailed instructions and step by step. I mean, I miss stuff when I do that, and and I resist doing that kind of work because it's just not me. Yet other people, like I had a client that was a project manager a few years ago, and it was just, she lived for Gantt charts and spreadsheets with minuscule details and dates and how this reacted with that, and she had checklists and checklists and checklists, and so incredibly organized. And I looked at that and I'm like, wow, that's like having a superpower. That is amazing, to be able to do that. Like, what a strength, what a gift to have, right? But that's not something that, like, it's not sexy, like in terms of marketing or whatever, but in terms of being useful and attractive and something that is needed, like, that was great. She had like these wonderful strengths, and she would be doing herself a disservice to kind of hide that and to try to project some other kind of a personality. She was great with details, and she was very tenacious about following up on things. Project managers, like, she was just really strict with deadlines. She could get people to do stuff, even when they didn't want to do it. She was kind of on people with that. And she was telling me, she's like, oh, people don't, sometimes they don't like me. They don't like the fact that I'm on them to get stuff to me by the deadline. The thing is, she was so effective as a project manager because she was tenacious like that, and she did follow up, and she had a reputation for that. So her projects got completed on time, the way they were supposed to, at a high level of quality, because she kept track of all those details. And all of those things are extremely marketable. So anything that you've got going for you, even if you may have had some feedback that maybe you're like, when anyone says that you're too much in some area, that's often just a way of telling you that, wow, that's one of your strengths. Because you can take that and you can, oh, wow, you're way too, we're way too giggly, we're way too fun, we joke too much or something like that. It's like, oh, excellent. You know what that means? I need to joke around more. I need to be more giggly, more effervescent, because that is how I am. And the people who don't like it won't like it, and that's okay. So that's my 2 cents on personality and branding and Sally Hogshead stuff. I would love to hear questions, comments. What do you think? Did you pick yourself out of those traits? What are you drawn to?
So good. Okay, we have comments. I like this quote too. Your smile is your logo. Your personality is your business card. How you leave people feeling after an experience with you becomes your trademark.
Nice.
So good.
Nice.
The site for the free personality test, is that the 16 personalities?
Yeah, I'm gonna grab it right now, and I'll pop it into the chat.
Excellent. Okay, I find I feel drawn to 3 at this point: passion, trust, and mystique. Need to work to figure out primary and secondary advantage for me. Yeah. Innovation and passion. Yes. So good. So good. I love these things. They're so fun. And I'm sure in the book and on the test, she probably goes deeper into more descriptions of those kinds of things.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I gave kind of the fast forward overview of it. And yeah, I would encourage taking a look at, 16 personalities. Oh, I just posted it to panelists. Not helpful. Yes, it's free, and there is a ton of information on there if you're interested in the Myers-Briggs stuff. And it was interesting. I remember when I did my Myers-Briggs and I looked at the breakdown, and it was like, oh, I am the population. It's like, oh, 75% of the population is extroverted. I don't know if that's if that's true. I think they're moving at more to 50-50 now, but at that time I was like, oh, 75% is extrovert. I'm an introvert. I'm an introvert. 75% is sensing. 25% is intuitive, and I'm intuitive, right? 75% of women are feeling. I'm a thinker. It's like 75% are judging, 25% are perceiving. It's like, okay, I'm a minority in all of these things in combination. Kind of crazy, but I think that for a lot of us that feel like we're on the island of misfit toys is because we're a little bit different from the mainstream. It's like when I looked at Myers-Briggs, it's like certain personality types represented like 30-some% of the population or whatever. We're ESTJs or something like that, and it's just like, yeah, that's the world is the world is the world in the US anyhow is built for extroverts, right? It's just like that's it's blah blah blah. It's part of why we feel like we fit in because we don't.
We've got a trust first and maybe alert second. I've heard that I was too detailed and thorough. I thought that personality slows me down, but I guess it could be a strength. Absolutely.
And it's just like, play up your strengths, manage your weaknesses, right? Like, weaknesses can come and bite you in the ass, right? But it's like when you're thinking about your business and how you construct it, this is what's lovely about a U-shaped business, is you can do it your way, and you can use your personality and your strengths to your advantage. You can make choices based on what feels good to you and what feels natural. It's like this idea of, what times of the day do you like to work? Where's your energy level? Use that to your advantage. Set things up so that it works with you. And if you've got a high, if you're being accused of having like too much of an attention to detail, that's awesome. It's like that's almost like a testimonial. Like, I could just imagine that as a testimonial on a website. It's like, you pay too much attention to the details, and it's like, if somebody is looking for somebody that will pay attention to the details, they'd be like, you're hired. It's like, that's what I'm looking for. It's like, that's what I would want if I was going to trust somebody with I don't know, managing some big marketing funnel email list where if they don't pay attention to the details, they send out some bogus message to 100,000 people on a list. I'd want them to be completely anal retentive about the details. Like, how many times do you see something like that where you get an email and it's like, hello, your name goes here, or it clearly was supposed to go out to the people who had bought, not the people who are on the marketing list, and it's just like, the details are important. So if that's your strength, then yeah, make your stuff all about, I pay attention to the details. If you need it done right, if you need it done without errors, it's like, I'm going to sweat that stuff for you. And that's especially valuable to people who aren't good at that.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, oh, I love people like that. People that slow me down and go, okay, did you think about this? No, of course not. I'm over here already, right? I love people like that.
Yeah, it was like the project manager person, right? Like, it's like, I'm looking at that going, wow, you're good at all this stuff that I'm not good at.
Exactly.
Like, how awesome to kind of leave that in your hands, right? And it's just, and the last thing someone like that needs to be doing is saying, oh, I have to develop a sense of humor because that's what people like. And it's like, if you're not naturally funny, forget it.
Exactly.
If you have a sense of humor, it's going to erupt. Let it out. And if you don't, that's okay, because not everybody likes it.
So true. It's so true.
I think sometimes we kind of look at the traits that we don't have, and we're like, oh, wish I was more like that, without seeing the things that we are actually good at.
Exactly. So I just had someone tell me a few days ago, when you share your excitement with me and then you giggle, that giggle really bugs me. Well, that's nice.
Yep.
Don't listen to me. Don't ask me. I don't know what to say about that. You might want to look at that, they said to me. I'm like, maybe. Or you might want to look at why that giggle bugs you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. So funny.
If the giggles annoyed you too much, you probably wouldn't be here.
Yeah, that's for certain. That's for sure.
It's, a lot of times, like that is the feedback we get, is to tone down the things that are naturally us because they annoy somebody that's close to us, like, family members, teachers, people that you're in proximity to without a lot of choice behind it. But when you're in a U-shaped business, you get to choose who you work with. You get to choose who your clients are. You get to choose who you show up as. So you don't have to take that kind of feedback anymore.
Exactly. So good.
Embrace your strengths.
Another secret weapon on here. I like this too. I've taken quite a few different personality assessments, and I always find each one adds to the next and then reinforces why I am what I am. I always feel more empowered and clear and confident when I do them. I'll definitely get the book. Yeah, it's very cool mixing them together. And I think it's right. They kind of layer on and you get these different aspects from the different kind of tests, which is really awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a cool skill. Blending multiple personality assessments together is something I love helping people do. That'll be fun. Really fun.
Yeah.
I love this topic. My BF says I'm too much on something. Now I will say it's my superpower. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah, attention to detail as a bookkeeper, super important. Super, super important. Yeah, embracing our strength, so good. Oh, you might know this. If you get the Sally Hogshead audiobook, does it include the code for the test?
I don't know, but I'm going to guess by the question that that's a detail-oriented person. I found it on Amazon. It might be in the description. I would guess it would.
I would think so. Most of them are pretty good about that, I think.
Well, they want you to take the test, right? It's engaging.
Oh, I love this. I used to always want to plan out my weekend ahead of time and would look forward, enjoyed anticipating the planned activities. Well, one day when I was trying to get ideas from my husband about what he wanted to do in the coming weekend, my INTP husband said, I don't know, why don't we just wait until we wake up in the morning and see how we feel? Wow, what a concept. I had never considered that. I was such a planner. So good. What I used to look forward to made him feel boxed in. Now I often have a menu of possibilities, but mainly I now just wait and see how we feel. I think it's so true. Sometimes we do what we do, and these other concepts literally is like, I literally hadn't even thought about that. I didn't even see that as an option because it just isn't in my realm of how I think and do things.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I find that this kind of like this golden rule about doing unto others as you'd like to have them do unto you or whatever is trips us up too, because we assume that others want to be treated the way that we want to be treated. And it's just, it's like my husband likes, he's INTJ too. He likes to plan stuff out, right? And he will be considerate of me to allow me to plan stuff. And then he gets frustrated that I don't plan stuff. But he's just being considerate. And meanwhile, I'm like, go ahead. How about you just decide what we're going to eat? Like, it's always like, I don't know, what do you want to eat, right? And it's just like, just make a menu plan. And then I'll change it if I don't like it. But don't wait for me to plan something, because I'm going to be like, let's go to the grocery store and see what looks good. I don't know what I feel like eating next Tuesday.
Yeah, I have no clue. I'm not even sure what I feel like eating tonight. So, yeah, it's really nice when you look for people with different strengths or different personalities. Then we have, like, I think about, I'm going away for the weekend with two friends this weekend, and one of them is a real planner. So this has been planned for a month, and she's like, okay, what do you guys want to eat? I'm like, don't care. And she's like, I love to cook and I love to meal plan. Is it okay if I'll plan all the meals, I'll cook all the food, I'll do all the shopping? I'm like, hell yeah, that sounds fantastic to me. I love it. What do I have to do? Show up. Perfect. And I don't even know where it is. And then our other friend was like, so where are we going again? How do we get there? And I was like, oh yeah, good idea. Just tell me what time you're picking me up, is me, and what I need to bring. Tell me what I have to bring and what time you're picking me up, and I'm good to go. But it's lovely having someone that, has those things that they love to do. It's like, oh, I love all these pieces. Great. I love that you love that. Because the other side of that is not something I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So good. Strength Finder is also good. $20 or something. Strength Finder site. That's awesome too.
Strength Finders is great.
Yeah. Love the idea of gaining insights and clues from being told your way to whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it's such a good thing because you can look at it and go, oh, this is what, I'm like, oh, am I giggling because I feel nervous or insecure, or is there something I need to look at? And then I'm like, nope, I'm giggling because I'm excited. And that's where it's coming from. And I'm okay with that.
Too friendly. Like, who are these people with their judgments? It's like, oh, I think you're too judgy.
It's so good. And just imagine if we could all come from that place of just accepting. Like, instead of you're to this or you're to that, what if we just accepted that's your personality and that's the way you are, and how fantastic is that? It's how boring it would be if we were all the same. If every puzzle piece was the same, we'd have a problem with the puzzle.
Yeah.
Like if every puzzle had a flat edge, how do you fill in the middle?
Yeah, exactly.
You can't.
Somebody has to be the teapot,
Exactly. So good. Oh, someone just posted a colors one. mypersonalitytest.com, True Colors. So cool. I love all these ones. Do you guys know how to save the chat too, by the way? Just thought I'd bring this up since there's a lot of links in there. And if you don't know that you can actually save the chat, if you're trying to scribble everything down, you can do that with those 3 little dots at the bottom. Just wait till the end and then you can save everything that's there. Oh, that's good. I also like helping people who get results from a personality assessment that doesn't seem to fit. Very cool. It's finding things like that too, that then you start to build into your U-shaped business. What are the things I love to do? Oh, I really like taking these pieces. I love helping people, make sense of these tests and organize different ones and that kind of thing. What a fun U-shaped business. Mm-hmm. Doing those things that you really love to do.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I think that's where it starts sometimes too, when we're like, I don't really know. We try to get too much in our head to figure things out, and I have to do it the right way, instead of going, even in looking at the personality tests, right? What are my strengths? What are the things I love? What is me? Yeah. And how much of that is in the business I'm creating?
And the other thing about this too is, like, sometimes we get the questions and we know what right answer is, like the socially acceptable answer kind of thing. It's like, it can be so easy to answer the test based on what we're being conditioned to do.
Yes.
It's you know, I somewhere along the line I learned how to pay attention to details. It is not something I do easily. It is not like, it is just, it's something that's been kind of drilled into me. And it's just, it's not fun. It's not enjoyable. Can I do it? Yes. Can I do it consistently without thinking? No. It's effortful to do that, right? So,
I think that's a really good point, is when you're answering these things, is where are the effortless pieces and not just the things, well, I know how to do that. Yeah, I can do that. It's a really good point.
yeah.
Oh, don't see the 3 dots today. Well, if you don't see the 3 dots, we always get a copy of the chat. So if you want it, we can send it or put the links up or something. Make it work. This is the non-detailed person's answer to details. We'll make it work. Just tell us what you need. That's how it goes. So good. So good. Yeah, it's a great for starting conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Getting to know people in your group as well. So fun. Even as you guys are sharing today, right? We get to hear, oh, we've got these people and these people and these people, these different personalities. It's so cool.
Yep.
That's what makes it work.
Yeah. You know, it's helpful. Like, I almost think that this is, no, I don't almost think, I know that this is core of creating a U-shaped business, is this self-understanding. And this is a way to get there, by doing these kinds of tests, by getting feedback from other people, by listening to feedback, by paying attention to what you like and what you don't like and how you tend to show up. It's to get this information because it helps you make decisions that fit for you. Like, the clearer you get on this kind of stuff, the easier it is to just disregard advice, disregard you know, oh, you should be doing this, certain types of marketing. And, you know, I sometimes have clients say things to me like, I have to get over showing up on Facebook Live. I don't want to do it, but I have to do it. I have to get good at social media. I have to figure out Twitter. And I'm like, says who? It's like, if it's not in your personality type to do that kind of stuff, what about looking for some kind of marketing that would work for you? Quiet conversations in a coffee shop can be a great way to get business. Introverts can make money in a business without having to be extroverted, showing up all over the place kind of thing. It's like, you can build something that fits for you when you have this information, when you accept it, that, you know, there's more than one option here. And a lot of times people incorporate all of this stuff as and I have to do everything. And I was like, no, you just pick and choose.
Exactly. Yeah, what would make this easy for me?
Yeah.
I think there's so many options out there, and often for some reason we tend to go to the things that are the most popular or what people say we should do, and they often aren't the ones that would work best for us.
Yeah.
Which makes it so much more difficult.
Got another recommendation here of a site. I haven't heard of this before.
Ooh.
Interest inventory that also ties in with personality. Cool. I have to do that one. I haven't heard of that one before.
Yeah, super fun.
Yes.
I like it. I like it. We might even have more shares for Friday.
What do we discover about ourselves?
I know. So much. I love these things. Actually, I think we already have a lot to share on Friday, which is good. It's going to be a full show of learning.
Yes, interesting observations this week for sure.
So good. I recall years ago that many businesses were doing personality tests as part of the job application. I get that they want people who can work together. However, in a small town, many were using only the personality test rather than going by skills and experience.
It's the unfortunate thing about these kinds of tools is how people use them, and you know, kind of taking it to an extreme.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think instead of just taking it for what it is, it's information. What's useful about this information? It's not the end all be all. You know, it's one piece. It's like that thing where we want to silo everything. You know, this is it, but it's like no. It's just one part of everything.
Yeah, and it's and just because you are a certain, you know, you test out as a certain type of personality test, and the recommendations for your career don't line up exactly with that, it doesn't mean that you can't do things. It just, like, it's not really a limitation. It might affect how you do them. It might give you some clues for how to do them in a way that fits better. You know, I think it could be super helpful when you're choosing what you want to do to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Just to see the recommendations about the kinds of jobs that your personality type typically drawn to, provide some really good information. If you're feeling a little bit confused about what exactly you want to do in your business and exactly how you want to offer your services, that those kind of recommendations of, oh, this is, you know, this is your personality results, and here's a list of kinds of things that this kind of type is drawn to or tends to excel at. It can give you some clues. Might give you some ideas you haven't thought about.
Exactly. Just a little new perspective.
New perspective. There's lots of ways to combine what you're doing to provide valuable services to your potential clients, your future clients.
So true. Oh, here's that the Holland one. Holland developed RIASEC, realistic, investigative, artistic, social, enterprising, and conventional. You may have heard of those terms. It is often used for matching people to career and jobs, but it can also be used for connecting to skills and other entrepreneurial clues. Maybe I should use these for matchmaking.
I think that this stuff is absolutely relevant to matchmaking.
Let me see. Never mind the list of qualities. Let's just do all these personality tests, and then I have the list. Put it in the machine, spit out, yes or no. Not a chance.
Matchmaking for misfits, yes.
Yes, there we go. Yeah.
It's another use for personality tests, right? Why my partner annoys me.com.
Exactly. I was thinking misfitmatchmaking.com.
There you go.
Just fill this out and then we'll figure it out. So good. Super awesome and fun information that you shared today. I love it. I haven't read the book yet. I'm going to read the book. I'm going to go take this Holland Codes thing too because it's fun. I love these things. So,
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
You know, this, what was it about the unexamined life is not worth living? Like, it's clues to who you are. I think that that's a very interesting trip to go on in this life, is to figure out who are you? How, you know, what makes you tick?
Yes. It's that self-inquiry, right? Always going inside ourselves to figure it all out. Us. Yeah. Good use of time.
Very much so.
Yeah.
So with that, I think we're wrapping up for today. And we will be back on Friday with exciting revelations of what we learned this week, and invite you to share what you learned. See you back here on Friday. Same bad time.
Same bad channel. Have a great day, couple days.